The Western Front has seen a truly massive buildup of forces on either side. In Picardy, the French Grand Army gathers its strength in preparation to some future offensive against German-held Belgium. But the German forces have been also reinforcing that territory, and so ultimately, any battle in that territory will be the penultimate battle on the Western Front, where both armies will be completely devastated. And even the moving up of British and Canadian forces might not be sufficient to tip that balance in the opposite direction. We'll have to see how the Western Front looks, especially now that the Austrians have moved into Switzerland and now threaten the interior of Italian and French territory. In Burgundy and Piedmont, it appears that things are in a dire situation for all forces, as the balance is very precarious on this front. Who will make the first move might be the decisive factor, being the victor or being the defeated party, as generally this game of war, favors the defensive. Welcome all to Operation Schlieffen. We are playing as the Central Powers in this YouTube War of Axis and Allies 1914. We are playing as the Germans, and so we are going to proceed right into the turn. We have 41 bucks to spend. We're getting 11 infantry and 2 artillery. Let's go on to our movements, starting here in Africa. With the British landing in German East Africa, we decided that perhaps retreat is a better part of valor and move to Cameroon. Perhaps that is the best course of action at this stage. Moving to Cameroon might, of course, expose us to any forces here of the British transports can simply swing around, but again, that moves them away from threatening some of their Middle Eastern territories for a couple turns or not. And so let's take a look at the Western Front and our movements here. 2 infantry are moving down from the Ruhr into Alsace, and our 3 fighters, being incapable of challenging the French fighter strength, we're going to send them to Alsace as well to engage those units present in this territory. And from Belgium, we're going to do a little skirmish against the Lorrainian forces here in hopes of tipping that balance and maybe either contesting that territory or putting that money into our pockets, as war is not simply a matter of attrition but a matter of economic strength. So removing a few dollars of income from the opponent might be the worthwhile course of action. Now, these units here, the remaining 3 infantry and 2 artillery from the Ruhr are coming into Belgium, and the 4 infantry from Holland also into Belgium. We're sending in from Kiel to the Ruhr, we're sending in, I will stack these up later, 1 infantry, and from Berlin to Kiel, 2 infantry and 2 artillery, from Berlin to Prussia, 3 infantry, and these 2 transports are going to come across to Sea Zone 11, load up these 4 infantry, and drop them off in Holland, as there's no sea connection straight to Belgium there anyways, so those guys drop off right here. On the Eastern Front, we're going to leave our opponent, we don't want to risk losing too many artillery, so we're going to send 3 infantry and 9 artillery in from Poland to Belarus, and 1 fighter as well. And from Ukraine to Belarus, we're going to send in 1 infantry to that territory as well. So I think overarching a massive force over there, hoping to take them out. Now, of course, Livonia will have to leave for the Austrians to take care of, but I think this will be strong enough to counter any British potential counterattack. Let's start rolling some dice. So let's start with Lorraine. We have 3 infantry and 2 artillery rolling at 2s or less, with 1 hit, which is all we needed. And the 1 French infantry in Lorraine scores a hit as well. So we're down to 1 infantry in Alsace, 1 of our infantry in Alsace, and having recovered that territory as well. So things are looking so far so good and within acceptable parameters. Now we turn to our fight in Lorraine with 1 German infantry scoring a hit, and now let's see if the French score a hit. Missing. So we've captured both those territories and tipped that economic balance 5 steps in our favor, which is quite interesting. So we move up to 47, and the French are down at 25. By my math, that seems to work out. Of course, these 3 fighters are landing in Alsace. Moving on to the Eastern Front here in Belarus. So it's a fairly straightforward battle. We have 9 artillery with artillery support. So there's 4, 3, there's 2 more. So here's 5 at 8. This really should be sufficient with plenty of hits to go around. And the enemy infantry present in that territory is going to roll 1 dice, with the 2 succeeding at 1 hit. So we're going to go over here and remove some units as well. And that is that. So we've lost 2 German infantry this turn to the Russians 1 and the French 1. But we captured a few bucks of income, bringing us up to 49 income, having taken over Poland and Ukraine as well. And that about does it for all of our units here. We're going to place our remaining units here. Our 11 infantry and 2 artillery is going to go over here in Berlin. And that about does it. Thank you all for watching. Cheers.